Here I am again, here to talk to you about Chapter 6, The Old Forest. So I think that the Fellowship of the Ring is known as being a pretty, certainly of the trilogy, it's the most challenging book. Not going to sugarcoat it. And at least my personal experience has been that this part of the story is probably the most difficult. Especially the Old Forest and kind of getting through this part of the book. So thank you for hunkering down with us. We're going to get through this just like our characters do. So the Old Forest, what is it? So it's nestled right up against Buckland. So it's actually like pretty much right outside of Frodo's door in his new home. Why is it called the Old Forest? Well, it is old and it's got a lot of trees. So rather than taking the main road, the hobbits decide, let's make a run through the Old Forest to hopefully avoid unfriendly eyes, and maybe it'll even save us some time, right? And Merry's, very confident in his navigation skills. He's like, I grew up near these woods. I got this. We very quickly find out that they don't got this. It reminds me a lot of the Lost Forest in Zelda, when it's like you make a turn and you end up right where you started and you don't really know what's happening. And as they're going along, they're starting to feel the weird effects of being in this close forest. Not a lot of sunlight. Then there'll be a clearing, and then it's very descriptive. It's a tough read. I'll admit it. It's a tough read, and you kind of feel the vibe of being lost in a forest as you're reading through these paragraphs, because sometimes you're like, I thought I just read that. And maybe you did. In my case, I definitely did. There's definitely some pages that I had to read twice because I realized I didn't know what I was reading. So, it's a trudge. It's a trudge, but the hobbits are making it through unscathed so far until suddenly everything goes to hell, and Merry and Pippin get caught in Old Man Willow, which is this giant, angry, sentient tree. Like, what? So we had been getting some rumors about, mobile trees. I don't know if you remember the gossip from, I think it was even chapter 1 or one of the very early chapters. We're getting some gossip about someone alleging that they saw a tree move. Well, there might have been some truth to that after all. And, we're kind of in the dire straits there at the very end. It's like, oh my gosh, well, I guess we've lost Merry and Pippin to a tree. But as it were, our old friend Tom Bombadil appears singing. So if you've been listening to the audiobook with Robert Inglis, you have been enjoying a lot of that, a lot of merry tunes. It's just totally kind of strange, out of context character who is able to talk to the tree and tells them to cut that out, knock that off, and let them free. So, certainly on a first time read, and even frankly on another read through, you're like, okay, wait a minute, who is this guy? And that's where we leave off, going right into chapter 7, which is in the house of Tom Bombadil. I'll make a quick aside that, a lot of people have speculated that the early part of the Fellowship of the Ring, Tolkien might have still been sort of in the mode of writing a sequel to The Hobbit rather than making a new canonical universe and a new, greater epic saga. And I feel that in these chapters. I really do. I think this cadence of walking and then some kind of dramatic event, and then we're walking, and then some other excursion into chaos. That feels much more reminiscent of The Hobbit than it does pretty much the rest of this tale. So we still have chapter 7 in the house of Tom Bombadil, so we'll go through that. But I do think that you're going to start to find a change in the narrative style a little bit. You're going to feel the story move along at a different cadence, which I find enjoyable, and I think the pace really picks up. So I hope you feel the same way. So all right, tune in next time for chapter 7 in the house of Tom Bombadil. Bye.